Hello, hello, and welcome to another incredible Read With Me session on this awesome book by Bob Proctor, the legend. Change your paradigm, change your life. So we are currently on chapter 4. We're going to dive into today, but chapter 1 through 3, if you missed it or you want to re-listen to them again, they are in the playlist on this YouTube channel. We just want to thank all the subscribers here, all the new subscribers. Welcome here, all the views. We've hit over 10,000 views here on Billionaire, and we started this channel this particular year. So it's only been about 7 months, 8 months. So appreciate you. We are continuously committed to reading 2 books every single month and providing Read With Me sessions inside the book on a weekly basis, Monday through Friday. So if you want to get notified on the new books that we're reading, as well as get notified as soon as we post them, make sure to get your notifications turned on, hit the bell so that you will be notified. We're super excited. Chapter 4, Paradigms and Cybernetics. And if you're not connected with us on Instagram, go ahead and connect with us, Billionaire on Instagram. We are there, and we're excited to just continue to connect with you, provide you, the Read With Me sessions here, and continue to develop our minds, our bodies, and our souls on a daily basis as we continue to grow together and achieve personal freedom and financial freedom. That is the vision, that is the mission, to impact and empower billions of souls worldwide to achieve personal freedom and financial freedom in their lives. And we're going to do that by continuously developing our minds, our bodies, and our souls. All right, so let's dive right into it. Bob Proctor, if you haven't gotten this book, go ahead and get it. It's an incredible book, and it's one that you want to study, not just read one time or listen through one time, but being able to study this book will absolutely transform your life. So chapter 4, Paradigms and Cybernetics. Setting your control system to achieve your desired results. Let me go on the relation of paradigms to cybernetics. They're very similar. Cybernetics was discovered during World War II by Norbert Wiener and Arturo Rosenbluth, a mathematician and a physician, respectively. It's a science of control and communication in the animal and some machines. The best way to understand the cybernetic mechanism is with your thermostat. You will set the thermostat in your home to control the temperature of the house, let's say to 70 degrees. I live in the north where it gets very cold in the wintertime. You could be sitting and all of a sudden feel a cold draft around your feet, and the house is cold. You go to look at the thermostat and the temperature has dropped down to 60 degrees, and you wonder what's the matter. You find that somebody left the door open. A message goes from the thermostat to the furnace. A fire is turned on, the fan is turned on, and it blows heat into the house until the thermostat gets up to 70 degrees, and then it shuts it all down. The automatic pilot on the plane is a cybernetic mechanism. When the plane leaves its point of origin, the pilot will flip on the automatic pilot, that is the cybernetic mechanism. Now, he could go back and have dinner with you. He doesn't, but he could, because the automatic pilot is flying the plane. The plane may be hit by some unexpected turbulence that knocks it off course. The cybernetic mechanism cuts in and brings it back on course. It's always a matter of correcting and bringing the plane back on course. A cosmetic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz applied this concept to the mind in a book he published in 1960 called Cybernetics. A psychological mechanism, a paradigm, is like a cybernetic mechanism. Suppose a person is 70 pounds overweight and wants to lose weight. They've got to stick to a diet. They start on the diet and sure enough, stick to it. They lose 5 pounds, then 7, then 10. Then the person starts eating the food they're not supposed to eat. What happened? What happened? Can you guess? Well, Bob is going to share. The paradigm kicked in and took them back on their usual course. A diet is the start of writing a new paradigm, but people don't see it that way. It's the start. The strategy is the start for your business. It's all the start of writing a new paradigm. But people don't see it that way because they don't know how to write a new paradigm. They don't really understand the force that they're up against when they try to change their eating habits. 9 out of 10 of them fail. That's why people going on and off diets. When they start to lose weight, they brought back on their usual course and they'll keep eating until they get up being 70 pounds overweight again. The paradigm works exactly the same as a thermostat or the automatic pilot. It controls your behavioral patterns. It controls what you're eating, your exercise, or whatever you're doing. That person has to understand how the paradigm is controlling what they're eating. That's why diets do not work. People don't understand they're being controlled by this program in their subconscious mind. They're trying to fight the program without understanding what they're fighting. They're dealing with an unseen enemy, and that's very difficult. When people start to understand how their mind functions, they can start making headway because they've realized something about the enemy. The enemy is the paradigm. The enemy is the paradigm. When they don't understand that fact, they feel as if they're failing because they're not doing what they want to do. They give themselves a command, but they can't follow it. Understanding paradigms, page 62. Discipline is a big part of the solution. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. But for a person to be successful in disciplining themselves, they have to understand what they're working with. They have to understand what paradigms are and what they're doing. If they don't, they're in trouble because they're fighting an unseen enemy. King Solomon said, "With all thy getting, get understanding." Proverbs 4:7. Understanding is the opposite of doubt and worry. Understanding how paradigms control us changes the game completely. I have made a lot more headway since I started to understand why I had changed. When I was living in England, I was doing very well, but I didn't know why. I was unconsciously confident. I asked, what happened? I did not believe in a capricious God on a cloud who said, let Bob have a turn. I didn't believe in luck. Voltaire said, luck is word we invented to express the effects of unknown causes. So I didn't believe that God has singled me out to be lucky. I wanted to know what the hell happened. Why did I go from losing up until I was 26, and then suddenly had tremendous success almost overnight? When a person understands what a paradigm is and how it's controlling them, they're going to go on a diet and they're going to start eating properly. They're going to start controlling their body because they see the body as an instrument of the mind. In this book, As a Man Thinketh, James Allen wrote, the body is a delicate and plastic instrument which responds readily to the thoughts by which it is impressed, and the habits of the thought will produce their own effects, good or bad, upon it. If you don't understand these principles, you'll have a hard time taking control and disciplining yourself because you don't even know what you're fighting. When you understand what you're fighting, using a combination of discipline and desire, then you're going to win. Polarities. Put your left hand out and put your right hand out. The left hand is one side, the right hand is the other. There's a law called the law of polarity. It is a law of opposites. Everything has an opposite: left, right, hot, cold, up, down, in, out. Let's say the left is a negative, ignorance. On the right-hand side is the positive, knowledge. On the conscious level, ignorance is the cause of doubt and worry. Ignorance is the cause of doubt and worry. When you internalize these things, you set up a vibration called fear. You set up a vibration called fear. When that fear is expressed, it must be expressed because it was impressed by the mind. It expresses itself in the body as anxiety. That's what anxiety is. the expression of the fear caused by doubt and worry, and the doubt and worry were caused by ignorance. On the other hand is understanding. How do you get understanding? There's only one way, through study. You must study. Understanding leads to faith, which is the opposite of fear. Faith expresses itself in well-being rather than anxiety. Well-being is expressed as exhilaration. Now, in between doubt and worry on one hand and understanding on the other is it just is. Nothing is bad or good, right or wrong, except our thinking makes it so. Everything just is. Our thinking determines whether it's good or bad. I think people should study. It's vitally important to study. But if we don't have a purpose and we don't have goals, we won't study. We get out of school and we think we're finished. Unfortunately, school really never taught us how to study or what to study. All this said, what things will really work in engraving the new paradigm in this. All this said, what things will really work in engraving the new paradigm in the subconscious? To begin with, I think a person has to understand that personal development does not have a finish line. We're used to studying something and finishing it. You never finishing studying this material. It's true. You'll never know yourself as well as you want to. You're always going to be changing the paradigm. Your results are always under construction. Growth and discomfort. I'm at the point where I know that when I go after something new, it's going to cause discomfort. If I'm feeling really comfortable, I know there's no growth being experienced. I'm stuck. The difference is understanding what's happening versus not understanding. When you try to change a paradigm, you don't know what you're doing. The odds are pretty good that you're going to lose. The paradigm is going to win every time. That's why people have trouble with diets or saving money or moving ahead at work. This is huge. This is huge. Go ahead and share this with somebody that you think could get some value out of this. So that's why people have trouble with diets or saving money or moving ahead at work. They don't understand how the paradigm is formed and how it's controlling them. When you do understand, you never stop changing the paradigm. The potential is perfection. I know a couple of people who think they're perfect. They're pretty dull to be around, but no one is, yet the potential is perfect. You'll be able to walk across the pool one day. I keep sinking, but the possibility is there. All things are possible. When you truly understand that concept, you're always going to move into an uncomfortable situation because you're always going where you've never been. Amen. You're improving your situation. You've got to know that what's happening when I go after new goals, I know it's going to cause some discomfort, and you can get very tempted. I could sit back and coast until the end of my life. I could be very comfortable, but I would probably be very miserable because I'm too aware of what's happening. I've got to keep growing. Personal development is a never-ending process. Actually, personal development is a relatively new subject. Earl Nightingale and Lloyd Conant turned it into a business and helped people become more aware of it. Other people were fooling around in this area, but Earl and Lloyd took a very serious business-like approach. They attracted a lot of good people and built a company. People started to use the material the way it was meant to be used, and they started to see that these ideas works in companies as well as individually. So companies started to utilize this material. When I was at Nightingale Conant from 1968 to 1973, there was no talk about paradigms. We referred to them as subconscious conditioning, but we didn't really understand its depth or how it was formed. After Joel Barker came out with his book Paradigms in 1993, we really got into the concept. Earl Nightingale also talked about constructive discontent. You're always wanting to improve, always moving forward. It's constructive, but at the same time, it's discontent. You're not going to be comfortable, but you're happy because you know you're doing what you want and you're going in the direction that you want to go in. Think from the state desired. When people think of the intellect, they think of left brain, logical functions, whereas the things that impress the subconscious are more oriented toward the right brain. affirming a goal with great emotion, and creatively visualizing that goal in ways that impress it visually on the mind. These practices help shift the paradigm. Navell brought this point out in his book, The Power of Awareness. He spoke of thinking from the state desired. In other words, seeing yourself already there. That's your imagination. That's the right brain function. Thinking from the state desired is creative living. Ignorance of this ability to think from the end is bondage. People who are very left brain oriented, who went into law, engineering, or accounting, sometimes have a difficult time with this practice. But when they get it, they really get it, because left brain people are very determined. Right brain people are more fluid. Based on this, are you left brain or more right brained? Let me know in the comments, or both. They operate more through vibrations and feelings than through concepts. One thing that stops many people from changing their paradigm is logic. But take a look at all the great breakthroughs, such as Hillary climbing Mount Everest with Tenzing Norgay. Nobody had ever done that before. Hillary had to do what was totally illogical. The same with the Wright brothers. It was totally illogical to believe that anything heavier than air was going to stay up there. They were totally logical, but they did it. Illogical, but they did it. In every great breakthrough, people defied logic. In every great breakthrough, people say, you've got to be realistic. No, don't be realistic. When I'm setting a goal, I don't want to be realistic. I want to be totally illogical. I have problems about this with people in our own company from time to time. Although they're getting more used to me, if something is practical, I don't want to do it. I want to do something totally illogical. For me to sit in my den and say, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world, that was totally ridiculous. I didn't have enough money to pull something like that off. I had no idea what I was going to have to do, but I knew I would do it. Hillary knew that he'd get to the top of Everest. He went in 1951 and failed. He went again in 1952 and failed. He had to go back in 1953. For 3 years in a row, he went at it. The guy was a beekeeper from Auckland, New Zealand. People had died up there. When he said, I'm going to go back again in 1952, everybody got angry with him. You've got no right doing that. You have responsibilities. The Wright brothers' father was a bishop in a very conservative denomination, and he told them they were going to burn in hell for suggesting they could fly. All the great breakthroughs have been totally illogical. If you really want to live up to your potential and you're not trying to please everybody and his brother, set some goals that scare the daylights out of you. If you know you're going there and you're working in harmony with the law, you know it has to happen. It doesn't always happen when you want it to or when you think you need it, but you know it has to because you're on that frequency. When you get on the frequency of the good that you desire, it's got to become your new home. It becomes a place from which you see the world. You're the only one who's gone there, not your wife, not your kids, not the next door neighbor, not the people that you work with. Consequently, you're going to see things they're not able to see. If you're really going to live up to your potential, you've got to step out and really bet on you. I'm firmly convinced that we've got the potential to do anything that our imagination will show us. As Neville said, determined imagination, thinking from the end, is the beginning of all miracles. There's no such thing as miracles. Everything happens by law. There are only things that happen which we don't understand. If you accept the idea of miracles or luck or of a capricious God that blesses some and curses others, you won't fly anywhere. Wow. What an incredible, incredible chapter. Chapter 4, change your paradigm, change your life. Go ahead and listen to that again. Read it again. That was super powerful. Go share it with somebody that you love, that you care about, your friends, your social media. So, so powerful. I know it's going to bless so many people today and this year. So go ahead and share it. Go ahead and give this a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet and you want to keep getting notified on the next chapters that are coming. Isabel is currently reading The Psychology of Money for the Financial Freedom Book of the Month. This is our personal freedom book of the month. And I hope you got tons of value. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. So appreciate you. Love you. The next chapter and Read With Me session is coming out, and it's going to be How Your Beliefs Affect Your Paradigm, chapter 5. So, so awesome. Such powerful information, insight, truth that has just been shared. I hope you grasped it. And if you didn't, no worry. It is here for you to grasp again. All right. Have an incredible day. My name is Vanessa Black. So excited and grateful that you are here. And we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.